I think all our society is run by insane people for insane objectives. And I think that's what I sussed when I was 16 and 12, way down the line. But I expressed it differently all through my life. It's the same thing I'm expressing all the time, but now I can put it into that sentence that I think we're being run by maniacs for maniacal ends. You know, if anybody can put on paper what our government and the American government, etc., and the Russian, Chinese, what they are actually trying to do, you know, and what they think they're doing, I'd be very pleased to know what they think they're doing. I think they're all insane. You know, but I'm liable to be put away as insane for expressing that. You know, that's what's insane about it.
Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be one.
Owen Schroyer here for Infowars.com, and I've got a story from the fake news CNN is ISIS here in my hand, their extreme weather section of their website. Now, it looks like they might actually be reporting on some real news now. But I want to start off this report by reminding us that there was a huge outrage over Donald Trump removing us from the Paris Climate Accord. They want to say that man-made global warming is going to be at the end of our destruction. It's a huge deal. Everybody talks about it. Oh my gosh, Leonardo DiCaprio travels around on his huge yacht and then tells you you need to stop your carbon emissions to save the planet. But it bothers me that whenever we have this discussion or whenever people are pontificating about man-made global warming, we completely ignore chemtrails, the real anthropogenic climate change, the actual man-made weather, cloud seeding, chemtrails that actually goes on. Somehow this just never gets brought up in the conversation of climate change. So, in the midst of the Paris climate deal and being destroyed because the USA got out of it, the whole reason was to handicap the USA, so we're out of it, the deal's no longer good. This story comes on CNN's extreme weather section. East Coasters wake up early for a light show in the sky thanks to NASA. Now this story actually came out yesterday. The update this morning is, I'll read you the update. NASA has postponed until at least June 11th the launch of a rocket that was expected to bring a multicolored light show visible to people on the East Coast. Well, what are we talking about? Listen to this, folks. CNN is now admitting chemtrails. They're now admitting what we've been telling you they're doing, and it's totally passé. They don't mention anything about man-made global warming. They don't mention anything about a climate deal, yet they sit here and write a story about how they're putting chemicals in the sky. So let me read you some excerpts from this story, which now the chemtrails, special chemtrail display is going to be delayed till June 11th. It was supposed to be this morning. They had to delay it. Here's some excerpts from this story. 4 to 5 minutes after launch, the rocket is expected to deploy 10 canisters about the size of soft drink cans, each containing a colored vapor that forms artificial luminescent clouds. Wow, and they admit that they make clouds in Russia and China, so we know this is going on. The clouds, or vapor tracers, are formed through the interaction of barium, strontium, and cupric oxide, according to NASA. Chemtrails, putting chemicals in the sky. Men putting chemicals in the sky to manipulate weather. Yet somehow this never gets brought up when we're talking about global warming and anthropogenic global warming. Yet here we are, and NASA is putting chemicals in the sky. It goes on. NASA had hoped to launch the rocket early Saturday, but had to scrub the attempt because boats in the area were where the payload is expected to fall back to Earth. So they had to cancel or postpone the original launch because the chemicals that are harmful to humans were going to fall back down to Earth. This is unbelievable, and this is all been on CNN. There was one more excerpt I wanted to take here. Again, this is delayed again. They had to delay it again. Since the canisters will be released about 100 miles above the ground, the space agency says they pose absolutely no hazard to residents along the mid-Atlantic coast. Yet they delayed the launch because there were boats in the landing zone. What? How can you sit here and say that there's no effect on humans and then you delay the launch because the chemicals are going to fall back down to Earth where there might be humans? Okay. So anyway, this story goes on, folks. You can find this story for yourself in the CNN Extreme Weather Department. But how ridiculous is it? How absurd is it that we've got all these climate deals forming, we've got all these celebrities and politicians that tour the planet and say, we need to stop man-made climate change, we need to stop man-made global warming, yet they ignore chemtrails.
So, you know, either get on the train or, you know, who cares?
So what's your experience in front of the world?
Well, I design, I do wreaths, I do all types of decorations.
And you like this building?
Yes,
okay.
I do.
So here's what I'm going to do. There's the man. Stand right over here.
Oh my God.
If we can make a good deal in the salary, she's going to probably have a job, okay? All right, good. Have a good time. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Good. Thank you. So nice.
Way deep down south, yo, we play this game. It's them Quad City DJs and yo, we call it the train. So if you wanna ride the thing, just come on down the train. We going around, oh Lord, this jumbo ball. So get your next to kin, your sister and your friend, pack up that. Ride on this, and move. You need to stop faking and come on with me. I wanna take you home with me, to be alone with me. And I can see you wanna hide it. Just keep riding, and please don't knock it until you ride it. So to all of you girls, you know I'm calling your name. Michelle, Jamaica, and Tanya wanna ride this train.
I received from you a handwritten letter that said, to the bravest woman I know. And
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
you,
Such a wonderful, beautiful woman. I mean, just an amazing woman. And are you coming along okay?
no, sir, but that's okay, because I'm here right now to thank you in person, and that was my biggest dream. And I wanted to thank you because through you and your organizations, my son, who is Mexican-American, 7 years old, through your organizations and just being able to stand on that stage with you back in 2005, the outpouring of love that came from that ultimately provided my son, when he graduates high school, with a full ride to college. And that was
great.
I can smell them tranquil breezes from a mile away. Graduated from Boone, up to Alizé. You're looking tough to death, got your weave done right. It's on so tight, now it's on tonight. Right about now, it's about that time for me to holler. Girl, I wanna
elected president. We will win, and we will win, and we will win. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Trump, thank you.
You're fired. 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 You're fired.
Let's go.
Hello, Mr. Trump. It's an honor to meet you. I was wondering what you would say to President Obama.
You're fired. Go ahead.
You're fired. But so that's right. We'll fire Hillary. Hillary, you're fired. Believe me.
40 years they've been trying. You couldn't fire somebody if they were horrible, doing a terrible job for the veterans. Robbing, stealing, hurting people, you couldn't do anything. It's called the Veterans Accountability Act. And now you can say, you're fired. For too long, Washington has gone after law-abiding gun owners while making life easier for criminals, drug dealers, traffickers, and gang members. MS-13, you know about MS-13? It's not pleasant for them anymore, folks. It's not pleasant for them anymore. That's a bad group. Not pleasant for MS-13. Get them the hell out of here, right? Get them out. We are protecting the freedoms of law-abiding Americans, and we are going after the criminal gangs and cartels that prey on our innocent citizens, and we are really going after them.
That there are, for immigrants on the whole,
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it out. Go ahead.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. That I can tell you. But Jake,
I want to give.
They came to me, the press, these people. Look at all those cameras back there. The press came to me, and they told me that he said he would not pay for the wall. Do you have a comment? I said, yes. The wall just got 10 feet taller. Oh, Don, you're a little controversial. You're talking about illegal immigration. I said, it's illegal. We have very stupid people in our country negotiating for us, and we have leaders that don't know what they're doing. And the media, look at all those people back there. Scavengers, they're like scavengers. CNN is terrible. CNN, you're with CNN? Are you with CNN? You people do not cover us accurately at all. Go ahead.
To follow up on that, you keep calling us the dishonest press, the disgusting press.
Generally speaking, that's 100% true. Go ahead.
I disagree with that, sir. And if I can ask you this question, it seems as though you're resistant to scrutiny, the kind of scrutiny that comes with running for president of the United States.
I like scrutiny, but you know what? When I raise money, excuse me, I've watched you on television. You're a real beauty.
Is that appropriate in running for president?
Okay, you got to let me speak though, Frank, because you interrupt all the time, okay? So, let me talk quiet. A lot of times, That's all of his donors and special interests out there.
It's been an amazing journey for me. It's been a lot of fun. I never thought I'd be a politician in my life. He said I'm not. Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm not. I refuse. We need a leader that wrote The Art of the Deal. I'll use the word anchor baby. Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
Look at those hands. Are they small hands? And he referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it.
He was begging for my endorsement. I could have said, Mitt, drop to your knees. He would have dropped to his knees. He was begging. Who is Uma married to? One of the great sleazebags of our time. Anthony Weiner. Did you know that? She's married to Anthony Weiner. You know, the little bing, 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 bum, bum. I love you very much.
I want to get paid the same as a man, and I think you understand that. So, if you become president, will a woman make the same as a man, and do I get to choose what I do with my body?
You're going to make the same if you do as good a job.
Stop it.
This socialist / communist, okay? Nobody wants to say it.
What the financials don't show also is your tax rate. They don't show whether you paid a low tax rate or no tax rate.
I fight very hard to pay as little tax as possible, and I've said that for the last 2 years. I fight very hard because this country wastes our money. They take our tax money and they throw it down the drain because, frankly, our country doesn't know what they're doing with our money or our tax money, and that's part of the problem. So I fight very hard to pay as little tax as possible.
What is your tax rate?
It's none of your business. You'll see it when I release.
I say it only because that's the kind of thinking this country needs with $19 trillion in debt, believe me.
They spent, listen to this, $1 million on ads against me in Iowa. Now, here's the good news. They used the best pictures. I look so good in those pictures. I'm trying to find where they got them. But I was like a young guy. I looked so handsome. I said to myself, oh, I wish I still looked like that. It would be great.
Newsflash, the Republican Party's been fighting against a single-payer system for a decade. So I think you're on the wrong side of this if you're still arguing for a single-payer system.
I don't think you heard me. You're having a hard time tonight.
All right,
This is a tough business to run for
I know.
president.
You're a tough guy, Jeb.
And we need to have a leader that is
real tough.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to the presidency.
Let's see, I'm at 42 and you're at 3, so far I'm doing better.
Doesn't matter.
So far I'm doing better. Crooked Hillary. She was the worst Secretary of State in the history of our nation. Why would she be a good president? I think she'd be a terrible president.
You know, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.